was going to theater school, actually. I probably told you this. I was in Juilliard, actually, in a class right behind Robin Williams. And this is a dumb joke, but I've used it a couple of times. It's that I discovered I was unfit, that almost everyone in theater was both gay and had a trust fund. And I had neither, so I realized I was just unfit for it. As I started working on filmmaking, yes, it's a combination of engineering and aesthetics. And it seemed to fit my mind. It was something I could see myself doing at a level that was worthwhile. I was certainly never going to be a famous tennis player. You mentioned the 3D and stuff, and yes, it's something that I've often sort of obsessed on, is that there is a kludge, a technical artifact in the middle of movies, in fact, all photography, that is completely wrong and unrealistic, and yet we all, as a cultural agreement, say nothing about it. I mean, they used to, in the 14th century, there was a cultural agreement that something high in the picture was far away, and something low in the picture was close. And they agreed that was the way reality was, and that pictures that depicted things that way were realistic. And it's true sometimes, but I mean, Giotto came along and made it more specific. All photography is based on a single plane receptor, whether it's film or whether it's digital. It's flat, and our eyes are a sphere behind the lens, which renders all perspective completely differently. Our eyes render distance as if they were a very long lens, and yet you have field of view as if it's a very wide lens. And you can't, on film or in photography, get the two together. And I think part of what is unrealistic is that break between the rendering of distance, of perspective, and the rendering of field of view. And if you could, and this is the thing he was talking about that we've done some experiments working on, is if you could have multiple cameras and then have the computer stitch the image together, you would in effect wind up with a film plane that was a sphere. So you'd get a wide field of view, but a long lens sense of distance. And consequently, movement would appear much, much faster than it does in regular flat lenses. I think there's an invention coming that will change the sense of will change pictures just as much as Giotto did, and we'll wonder after it's happened, how did we ever look at this stuff and think it was realistic?
Dans le monde du cinéma et des images en mouvement, équivalente à celle de la perspective en peinture, qui fait que bientôt, quand les outils existeront, on pourra dire mais comment est-ce qu'on pouvait trouver ces choses-là réalistes avant.